Maggie hadn't been baptized, so as soon as she stepped into the church, a demon's hand pulled her down into hell. When Marge saw Bart standing next to the demon too, she woke up in a panic. She told Homer to hurry and find a suitable godfather for Maggie right away. Homer had no choice but to go to the bar and tell his friends about this.
Aw, what a cutie. Let me give her a sip of beer.
Okay, you're out.
Soon, those friends were ruled out one by one, so Homer went to find the police chief instead. But when he saw Ralph, who'd been baptized by the chief, Homer turned around and left immediately. He could only tell Maggie, "You can live just fine without a godfather for now." The next second, a piano came sliding toward them. Luckily, Fat Tony stepped in just in time to help. To thank him for saving their lives, Homer asked Fat Tony to be Maggie's godfather. Fat Tony looked at how cute Maggie was, and agreed to Homer's request right away. But when Marge found out, she strongly opposed it. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It turned out Fat Tony was worried Homer's car wasn't safe, so he not only brought over a car seat, but also got Homer a brand new car to replace his old one. But Marge still politely declined Fat Tony. Fat Tony said he'd also arrange for Maggie to go to the League preschool, and later to an Ivy League school too.
Godfather.
Maggie was baptized soon after. From that day on, Fat Tony spent most of his time with Maggie. When he was busy, he'd even send 2 bodyguards to protect her. Maggie had recently become obsessed with a video game, which made Marge really curious. She decided to log in and see what was going on. Marge brought Maggie some fruit in the game, and soon, Maggie responded. She liked bananas but didn't like strawberries. Marge was thrilled to discover she could communicate with Maggie through the game. She even took Maggie to a virtual zoo, and learned that Maggie liked elephants, and wanted to be a vet when she grew up.
You love me. Oh, Maggie.
When Homer logged into the game, he asked Marge how to dry pants in the microwave. Marge shared her excitement with Homer, and Homer couldn't wait to talk to Maggie too. He fired off a bunch of questions at once. All Maggie did was type 4 emojis: baby, heart, donut, man. Homer was over the moon. Out of the 3 kids, there was still one who loved him. Homer built a house in the game that looked exactly like their real one. Just then, Lisa found them while riding a unicorn in the game. Lisa said, "You guys have been MIA for so long. The lawn at home is overgrown with weeds, and I even had to go to parent-teacher conferences by myself." But when Lisa found out, she could communicate with Maggie here too. The whole family happily started playing volleyball together. They had no idea that newspapers had piled up at their front door. Their neighbor Flanders helped bring the newspapers into their house, and called out for them several times, but no one answered. All he could see were a few spots of blue light glowing in the dark room. Flanders was so scared that he dropped the newspapers and ran away as fast as he could. Santa's little helper was struggling with a mental health issue. After chewing the family couch to shreds, he hid in the corner and didn't move an inch. Lisa suggested taking him to an animal welfare lecture, but the lecture didn't offer any useful information, so they went to see Elaine privately. The moment Elaine laid eyes on Santa's little helper, she knew he was on the brink of breaking down. She took him to her studio, and after checking that he had no physical health problems, she laid down next to him to quickly build trust, and stayed with him all night. During the night, she noticed Santa's little helper was sleeping restlessly, so she guessed he was having a nightmare. This might have been the root of all his issues. In the nightmare, Santa's little helper was snuggled up to his mom, when suddenly a big hand picked him up and took him away. Santa's little helper woke up in a panic. The next day, Elaine took Santa's little helper to an activity room to make new friends, but when other dogs got near his bed, Santa's little helper immediately became aggressive. Elaine found a Christmas hat that Santa's little helper had been hiding. Once she identified the problem, she went to Homer to ask about the hat's origin. It turned out Santa's little helper had been a racing dog. Bart had found him with that hat when he took him in, so they tracked down Santa's little helper's previous owner.
Dog abuser. Can I offer you a drink to throw in my face? Yes, I bet you would. It means I can't.
When Santa's little helper was a puppy, he was the fastest and smartest in his litter, so he was chosen to be a racing dog, and taken away from his mom forever. Everyone gave the former owner a slap, and Santa's little helper ran over and bit him hard too. With that, he successfully healed his emotional trauma.